Okay. A quick recap from last time. When we left off, you guys had just finished resolving all of the problems with Giovani. So I want to cover just a few high-level things that are important that we've learned recently. First of all, before you even got to Giovani, you learned from Jack a couple of important things. One, you learned about how the chaos that had been ruling this whole region millennia ago is subdued when the original founders of Crespont, Luce and Vespra, collaborated with some Leviathans and these kind of primordial forces and subdued the chaos. And you learned that the Lord of the Whales was one of those. And so part of why all this chaos is breaking loose was because the Lord of the Whales died. And so when you left Jack, he was going off to find more of those relics like the one that Ghana found in hopes of learning what the other Leviathans are, so that we could prevent those from also being destroyed by whoever's trying to seemingly release this chaos. He wants to stop that from happening, prevent other Leviathans like the Lord of the Whales from being killed, and the only way to do that is to figure out what they are. So Jack went on his way while you guys went off and dealt with Giovani. When you got to Giovani, it was a whole murder mystery. It was he ran this fancy town where you learned he was using his bardic skills, using smell and smoke from his pipe to control and manipulate all these servants to serve the wealthiest people in Crespont. And there was a murder at his fancy dinner party, and ultimately you guys confronted him, battled him, and it was a very long, complicated, and for Ez especially, frustrating fight, which ended in him being defeated, and you turned him over to the servants who were now not under his control so that they could deal with him as they saw fit. And you guys then decided that you were now, there was only one person left, one minister left to go deal with, and that was Ivo. Rusty said that she didn't want to have to see Ivo again. She'd been there before and didn't want to have to go back to his lab. So she stayed behind. But the four of you guys went to the teleportation circle that was outside of Giovanni's mansion, and you began to teleport. The plan was to use it to teleport to Velrath's fortress, in the room that has all the other teleportation circles, and then use the other teleportation circle to get straight to Ivo, get there as quick as possible. Worth noting that during that fight, Ez got pretty frustrated, and in his frustration, some new magic started to come out, and at the end of the fight, he mentioned that he let the voice from behind the door that when Ghana kind of gone into Ez's mind, or Doc, sorry, when you guys went into Ez's mind, you guys, you saw this door and there was like shouting behind it, and he was like, don't go through that door. And he mentioned that he let that out a little bit. So some kind of dark magic, something that he's kind of maybe ashamed of, or anyway, he let that out, and he was really upset about it. He was literally just collapsed and weeping and crying as you guys made your way through the teleportation circle. And that, for better or for worse, kind of that heavy moment was where we left things off at the end of last session. I want to start today by just noting that something about teleportation circles is that the way they work is they can be a little bit finicky, and they work best when you step into them with a clear image of where you're trying to go. So if you've been there before and you can envision the place that you're trying to get to, that is the most effective use of a teleportation circle. Without that, they can be, just a little finicky, and you may not end up quite where you were trying to get to. So, that said, you guys
I don't get a good feeling by this.
Yeah, this is some good foreshadowing here. We're definitely going to be okay, guys. Don't worry. We're going to be just fine.
Yeah, totally.
So before I explain how you die, I'm going to explain why you die.
So you guys stepped into this teleportation circle, and it flares to life beneath your feet. Polaris, having been to Velrath's lair before, has a clear image of it in her mind, and you see in a puff of smoke and magical threads kind of in the air, she's gone. The three of you guys look at each other, and you expect the same thing to happen. And for a moment, everything feels exactly right. Teleportation magic is kind of consuming you, and you can almost start to see Polaris in front of you in the room with the other teleportation circles. It's kind of coming into focus. And then all of a sudden you feel like you almost got pulled sideways, and there's a jerk and a like a clunk, and it's not like violent, it's not painful, but it's just, it feels wrong. Even if you've never teleported before, you can tell if you have any experience with magic, something is going wrong here. And the world kind of stretches and smears and collapses inward, like being yanked through space that you weren't meant to fit through. There's no explosion, there's not a scream or anything, it's just suddenly dark.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
You find yourself falling. And, you know, when you're falling, usually it's not that far, but it feels like a long time, right? And you feel yourself falling, and then you hit like a tarp, and you like it slows your fall for a moment, but then you tear through it, and you're falling again, and it's just dark everywhere. Now it's a little bit lighter. You can see some like flickers of light around you, but you can't quite. You're just falling through the air. You can't quite get your bearings, and you land on the ground, and you feel yourself landing on something pretty uncomfortable, something very solid, like metal. And you just dust erupts in choking clouds around you. Some old ropes around you kind of creak and strain. And as you land on the ground, you tumble, you collide, hard enough to knock the wind out of your lungs. And then there's a sound beneath you, kind of a short, wet crack, followed by stillness. And as the dust settles and your vision clears, the three of you realize slowly that you're standing inside of a massive, tattered tent, like a performance tent. And
like a circus tent?
Like a circus tent. You guys might not have been to a circus,
metal?
but like a circus tent. No, well, beneath you something was metal. You fell through some kind of canvas that tore, and you hit the ground, you crushed something that was metal, and it had a short, wet crack. And you're looking around, and to your right, you see a young woman, a water genasi, who looks very startled, a little scared. And to your left, you see a large, I want to say like a bandit, like a, he looks, you know, it's this guy that's covered in like black clothes. He's got, a mask over his eyes. He looks pretty intimidating, and two kind of thugs that are with him. And they're wearing some light armor, and they are wielding swords. And you see the big guy also looks pretty startled, and they're just staring at you guys. What do you want to do?
Look around for Polaris.
Yeah.
Wondering if this is Valcora.
Yeah, I'd be looking around as well to like take a head count of like, you know, being adept with magic and realizing something was wrong. I'd be like, is everybody here? Looking around.
Are you saying anything, or you're just mentally trying to get a sense of everyone?
First, I want to get a sense of like, did everyone get here? And then as soon as I realize everyone gets here, I'm going to stand up, and I want to gauge if the thugs, you described them as thugs, so if I would determine them as thugs, are they hostile? Like, do I need to make them stand down?
Are they expecting us, or are they surprised to see us as we are to see them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what are you doing, Doc?
Doc stands up, and then he immediately looks down. He wants to know what they hit.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
So I don't think you need to roll for that, but I will say that for you and Ghana, you guys can roll either investigation or perception, depending on what you think you're doing there. I would say probably it's more so investigation. to see, kind of how much you can gather as you
Does
look
a
around.
smell help me at all in this situation?
Oh, sure. You can roll for smell. You can include that. With
I got a
advantage.
12. 12 on investigation.
Okay.
At advantage, I got a 14.
Almost an 18. Okay. So here's what you guys notice. You look up, and these thugs, you could tell they look very surprised. They did not expect people to just fall from the sky in front of them. And they look pretty menacing, but they also just look like they're caught off guard in this initial moment. The young woman to the other side of you also looks surprised, less menacing. You actually can, as you kind of quickly get your bearings, you notice that she is tied up and can't move. I'm trying to. Was there anything else specific that you guys said you were trying to see as you got your bearings here? They look intimidating, surprised. Yeah,
Right.
I'll answer that last. I'm trying to remember if Ghana, you do smell refreshing. You smell the not recent, but kind of the musk of peanuts in the area. This is a place that was, at least at one point, ripe with peanuts.
I don't know where we are, but I'm glad we're here.
And I would say you probably do smell the faint scent of salt water on the air. So you may kind of have the sense that you may still be somewhere on the islands. And so, Doc, you look down, and like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, you find that you three have just fallen upon what would have been the, I guess, fourth. There's three thugs there, one that looks kind of like their leader. And what would have been the fourth thug is thoroughly flattened beneath the three of you who have just fallen from, maybe 20 or 30 feet above and landed on him.
Thanks, Ghana. You're the heavy one.
As the moment passes, the young
dead?
woman, he's very dead. And the young woman who's there looks at you guys and says, kind of in a quiet voice, kind of leans in a little bit, says, I suppose, thank you. This is not how I expected my execution to go. I'm grateful. And the three thugs that are on the other side of you lift their swords and they say, I don't know who you are or where you came from, but no one kills our pal and gets away with it. And they are about to swing at you guys for having just crushed their friend, unless you are going to try to do something to stop them first. Otherwise, you're going to have to roll for initiative.
I will, as, discerning that they are not nice and they are being aggressive, as is going to, using minor illusion, form the image of Graw behind him, and he is going to try to intimidate them and tell them if sorry, I gotta get back into it. He is going to try to intimidate them utilizing minor illusion with Graw behind him, and he's just going to growl at them. If you wish to live, you will drop your weapons and you will leave, or I will send you to the plane in which we just came from.
That's some quick thinking. Roll for intimidation.
Do I get anything extra since I used minor illusion?
Let's see. You got Ghana there. You got Raw
We did just kill
now
somebody by
rearing
sitting
up,
on them.
and you just killed someone. I'll say, yeah, take advantage.
Yay! Happy birthday, Boots, or Merry Christmas, or Happy New Year. Whatever's going on. 20. Not nat 20.
Wait, that's
30-20.
no. That's it. Did 9 plus 11. You got 9.
No, I literally have a plus 11.
Oh,
My intimidation. I literally have a plus 11 to my
Wow.
intimidation.
Wow.
So I
Boots
did
needs
roll
to make
very
these
bad.
encounters harder.
I did roll very bad. but I'm a bard.
When you have plus
so,
11, it doesn't matter. Hot dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're a bard.
So the two kind of weaker thugs, both, you see the color kind of, leaves their face, and they just go pale, and they're like sweating, and they both just kind of go still. The bigger guy now is trying to keep his composure, and he's looking like it wouldn't take much to get him to run away, but he's not quite ready. Like he knows, he just doesn't seem like he's almost more scared of what might be behind him if he runs than if he fights. And so he's the other two just drop their swords, kind of put their hands up, and the big guy kind of quakingly holds up his spear, and he says, I can't let you leave. I can't let you leave. You know too much. You know too much. What do you want to do?
You know too much. He's talking to the Genasi, yeah?
He's talking to all of you, including the Genasi.
I wonder what the
I'm
Genasi
gonna-
knows.
I'm gonna cast command.
I wish that was the case, because I have no idea what is going on right now.
I'm gonna cast command.
Okay.
So he needs to make a wisdom, whatever it is. I
Wisdom
gotta
saving
remember how to
throw.
D&D. Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
And me, what is it? Man, it's normally. Oh yeah, 14. I'm gonna command him to drop his spear, basically, at this point.
Oh, okay. So you do that. He fails. So he drops his spear.
And he's real afraid.
As you just say, drop. Like, it's like a dog. Just like, drop it. And he drops
drop
it.
it.
But again, you see him almost seeming like he's just compelled. Like he can't. He's now equally feared in both directions, kind of now. He just brings his fists up in fisticuffs, and he's like,
Oh.
how did you, what, I still can't let you leave. And what do you want to do, Ghana? If you want to do anything before this guy takes a swing at one of you.
I assure you, we have no idea what is going on here.
Yeah, I guess you could roll for persuasion to see if he believes you.
Persuasion. Can I also add I assure you we have no idea what is going on here. However, if you release the girl, we can all leave and go our separate ways.
Okay. Yeah, let's see if he believes you.
That's an 18 plus 1.
Let's go.
He has never been more persuasive.
You see this guy says, he kind of looks around, and he leans over to the other two thugs, and he kind of whispers in one of their ears. And you see the two thugs just turn tail and run. And the big guy kind of puts his hands up and he says, look, I'm a dead man either way. You guys are some kind of weird magic bandits who just dropped in and killed Carl right there. I can't leave. If I leave and I can't show proof that I have killed this girl here, I'm a dead man. And obviously if I fight you guys are some interdimensional, I don't even know. You guys are gonna kill me. I don't know. I'm out of options.
Wait. We're not here to kill you. This was an accident. I am deeply sorry about your friend. Wrong place, wrong time. But we don't want to kill you. Maybe we could help you.
You just hear a little voice pipe up from behind you. You should kill him. I think it'd be pretty good if you killed him.
But what's
what kind
going
of
on
proof
here?
do
Yeah.
you need of her death?
Oh, it's just something simple. What kind of proof that you guys, I'm sure, anyone that works in our line of business, it's just something like all of their teeth, the heart,
Head?
the full head is great. Anything, your typical proof of death kind of items that we deal in.
What if we?
I am truly sorry about your friend. As Gunna just takes a sidestep away from the corpse.
Are you proposing that you take his teeth out?
We did not mean to kill your friend, but it seems that his death could be of some use.
I don't really love the idea of pulling out all of Carl's teeth. I mean, Carl only had 2 or 3 left.
If you do,
It's the
then you live, and we can all get out of here. Because I think we can all agree, you don't want me to send you to that dimension we just came from. And we don't want to be here
It is
anymore
quite
than you do.
unpleasant.
It's a dimension where you get to share a small room with Graw here.
It's like Invader Zim when it's a room with a moose. A deep cut reference, but for my Invader Zim fans.
Is the water genasi gal wearing like an outer cloak or a scarf or anything like that?
Yeah, she looks kind of like maybe what you'd expect a rogue in a lot of things. Like she has a hood, like light clothes, light as in like not heavy, but dark colored. But otherwise, yeah, she's. Are you thinking like, does she have anything on her that you'd be able to take as proof?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe if you want to try rolling just for luck to see if there's something on her that is like super identifiable, super unique.
We do a D20, right?
Yep.
There's nothing on this girl.
I mean, I hope there's something.
So the thug leader here, he says,
She's got a
Look,
fig leaf. That's about it.
I don't want to fight people from some kind of other dimension. That's way above my pay grade. Look, I think if we take all 3 of Carl's teeth, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's enough for me to convince them. Look, I got to tell you, I won't be able to lie that you're here. And they're going to know. I think they're going to know that something happened. So, but maybe I can at least save my own life if I give them these teeth. We'll see.
Who is going to know? Who do you work for?
Look, I've clearly already said too much. He reaches down.
Does it matter if you're already a dead man?
Well, I'm hoping not to be a dead man anymore. He's like, you see him yanking Carl's teeth out one by one. I'm taking these teeth and I'm just going to leave. Stands up with his hands full of 3 teeth and just starts backing away. I'm just going to take these teeth. I'm going to leave. You guys promise me you won't make this worse for me. I just want to be able to live my life peace and do my criming and, and hang out. And anyway, and then he turns and he starts to run. And if you guys want to try to stop him somehow, you can try to, but he's just going to try to run away with the teeth in his hand.
Sure. I will cast command. As he just stop. That is a
He
wisdom
fails.
save.
Yeah, he fails the wisdom save. So he just stops in his tracks, looks back, is like, come on.
God is
come
going
on.
to walk up slowly behind him and just put his hand on his shoulder and be like, if it will save your life, you can tell your boss that Velrath sent us.
I don't understand why Velrath. What if that doesn't make any sense to me? But
We also
okay.
did just
Let him
come from
go.
another dimension, so if you want to add sense to it, good luck. If anything,
Yeah,
that should be
Velrath-
more proof.
Then 3 people from another dimension to fall through from the sky and crush Carl? I'm so confused.
If anything, that just shows he has powerful friends.
Yeah, but why is Velrath helping Luna over there? I don't understand. Why would he want... Look, I just want... Honestly, I'm just freaked out. I don't even like this place anyway. This place has always been spooky. I just would... I'm... Can I just take this handful of teeth and leave?
But we get paid to do.
You're right. You're right. I don't get paid to understand. Yeah, I'm gonna leave with these teeth if that's okay with you guys.
I don't try to stop him at this point.
Yeah, as is bored of him.
Yeah, after 60 seconds, he'd be let go anyway.
Okay. So he takes off running, gets to the edge of the circus tent, and just kind of pushes the flap aside and runs out into the rain. You can kind of hear the muddy footsteps disappearing into the distance. Not unlike the 2 other thugs that ran away a few minutes ago. And you're left here in this
Ghana
room.
will turn to Ez and Doc.
Yeah.
And he goes, I do not think that lie will work, but it will at least buy us some time.
As you now have a moment to kind of get your bearings, you look around. Again, obviously there's the girl there who has been bound, and you look around a little bit and are able to kind of properly take in your surroundings. This tent is enormous. Way, like bigger than a tent that you would typically sleep in or something. It's like a big circus tent. So I don't know, depending on your character, whether that's something you'd be familiar with, but you've likely seen traveling performances that would use this kind of tent. You can see the once bright fabric is now faded and torn, patched with mismatched cloth, long strips of canvas hanging like molted skin from broken poles. The ropes sway gently overhead, some still strung with frayed silks and rusted rings. This, you could tell, was once a place of spectacle. You can almost feel it. You can smell the peanuts in the air. Scattered around the tent floor, there's remnants of joy long abandoned, a cracked drum, painted mask, a line of footprints preserved in old sawdust. And beyond the tent flaps, as you can kind of in the wind see them flapping, you just get glimpses of a bit of like a fairground outside where it's quietly raining. Some collapsed wagons sit at odd angles with wheels broken, splintered. Some rusted animal cages stand open and empty. There's faded banners just kind of hanging limply from poles. This is a kind of a forgotten place. And now that it's quiet, you can just kind of hear the rain falling lightly on the canvas, stone, turning the dust outside into mud. Water's kind of dripping off the edges. And in the middle of it, you see this young woman shimmering like water in the moonlight. That's not unfamiliar. You've seen water genasi a handful of times before, even recently when you met Giovani. They always seem to just kind of carry this internal luminescence and this sense that they're almost liquid, even though they're clearly not. And she looks at you and smiles, and she says, well, I guess that answers the question of whether or not that clue I was given was something anyone would care about. I don't suppose you guys would be willing to cut these ties here, would you?
Ez is gonna walk over. Is there like a stool or a chair or just anything he can grab to sit down next to her?
Yeah, sure. There's a handful of like really basic, rugged wooden, tree-legged stools around.
He's gonna take it, set it next to her, sit down, and just kind of pull out a dagger and start fiddling with it.
First,
Okay.
Can you allow me to ask, where are we?
Where? Oh, well, what do you mean specifically? We're in the old caravan. This place is.
A town.
No one's been here for a long time, as far as we knew. Oh, well, we're in the the nation of Velcora, of course. Where did you come from?
What town are we in?
Oh, it's
Hold
not
on.
really a.
Do we still have the map?
Oh, yeah, you
Who
can take
has
out a
the
map.
Yeah, Ghana would probably have the map.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was either Polaris or you.
Yeah.
You can say you have it.
Ghana's gonna pull out the map. Just hold it to her face because I assume her hands are still tied. He goes, "Where are we on this map?"
She looks at it. She's a little confused. She looks back at you
Stick
guys.
a quill in her mouth so she can point.
Before you put the quill in her mouth, she says, "Well, this specifically, the old caravan grounds never really had a name. They always used to just call it the Bodhi Caravan. But we're on the island of Lunessa," and she kind of points at it on the map. It's just kind of one of the islands, pretty close, almost immediately adjacent, but just kind of off to the side and behind Velrath's Fortress Island. And it's kind of a smaller island that's amongst, the archipelago. And she kind of points at it with her head and says, we're on the island of Lunessa, within Velcora, and again, where did you guys come from?
Another
This is not
dimension,
the island
obviously.
we were looking for.
This is not the island we were looking for, indeed.
Young lady, what is your name?
Oh, Luna. You can call me Luna.
Luna, I'm Doc. Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to untie you.
I would like that too.
And I really would like for the end of this conversation to be with us untying you. However, I would like you to tell me why you were tied up, what is going on this island. We're just some adventurers, and we are not quite sure what happened, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Why did that man want to kill you?
Yeah, why did that guy want to kill you?
Well, okay. This might be hard to explain, but I suppose no harder to explain than why you guys fell from the air without knowing where you are. So I guess we're each in for a little bit of a confusing explanation. Look, I learned, apparently, I was told that if I come here, I might learn about what's really going on here and what the hands have been up to this whole time. And, I thought that would be worth investigating. I'm tired of them doing all their shenanigans, not putting up with it anymore. And so I came to the old caravan just to check it out, and completely caught off guard. These people ambushed me. They said that I couldn't leave knowing what I knew, which is not a whole lot. And they were about to execute me. They grabbed me, they bound me, and I think they were going to cut my head off. And then all of a sudden, you guys fell from the sky, crushed Carl, Mangy Carl, they called him. And he was a decent guy, but he was going to kill me. So I'm glad you guys fell on him. And here we are. I think that pretty much covers it.
You said they're the hand?
The hands.
Are they raiders? What are they?
You don't know who the hands are? Are you not from Velcora? Do you not?
We literally just fell from another dimension. Where do you think?
Fair enough. Okay, so you've heard of the Body Crime family, right? The Body Crime Syndicate. You must have heard of us.
Pretend that I have.
So, the Body Crime family, most notorious crime family in all of Velcora, right? You may know that Velrath II, current king of Velcora, used to be the head of the Body Crime family. Pretty common knowledge, everyone knows. But since he became the head of Velcora and he became the leader of Velcora, he pretty much abandoned his position as the leader of the crime family. And since then, the crime family is kind of fractured and split. And a handful of us just want to go back to the way we used to do things, just being, traditional circus performers and doing that kind of stuff and not hurting people. And then the other, smaller group, but more radical group, has decided that they wanted to do what Velrath and his father were never willing to, and they just become increasingly violent and extreme. And they always say, he never had the guts to do what we're willing to do now, and we're going to go ahead and carry out the ultimate plan, which we don't know what that really means. But those of us that are a little more peaceful and never really wanted to get into the whole criming thing in the first place are pretty tired of it. And so I was here trying to figure out what the hands were up to and what their big end game is. Maybe stop them. And and here we are.
So if they're the hands, what are you?
Oh, well, at one point I was one of the feet, but these days, those of us that don't want to continue to be so violent, we mostly just call ourselves the Caravan. Try to go back to being the Bodhi Caravan if we can.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh.
Where is the nearest teleport circle? We have to get back to our dimension now that Carl is dead.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what a teleportation circle is or how to make one, or if I've ever seen one, I wouldn't recognize it.
Huh.
No. Hold on, Ez. Sounds to me like this place is trouble. Maybe we should do a little bit more investigating before we just try to head on to our next destination.
She kind of pipes up and she's like, for what it's worth, I don't want to tell you guys how to live your life. Maybe things are different wherever you're from, but at least around here, when you fall and you crush someone from the hands, and then keep them from killing the person who apparently knows something that they don't want, they don't usually just let you go. So, hate to break it to you, but I think for better or for worse, you guys may have kind of found yourselves caught in a web of intra-criminal politics here, and at least my perception, it feels like the only way out is through. Feels like if you're going to get away from all this, we might have burned the fleet a bit here.
So what you're saying is you're now our prisoner.
I don't know why I'd be your prisoner. I feel like I've never been meeting.
I mean, you literally just said that if we just saved you, we're now stuck in your camp, and now we have you. Which means
no. I'm saying the guys that just left are gonna come back. They're not gonna just leave this, right? They're gonna. My guess is they're gonna try to hunt you down and kill you and murder you. That's typically what the hands do. They go around and they hunt people down and murder them. That's kind of their shtick. And
so if we leave you, you die.
Oh, certainly I would die. Yeah, that's for sure. And probably you guys would too. Probably they're gonna hunt you down and your families. So
it's just kind of like blank
like something
stares
people
off into the
typically
distance when she says "and your families."
I don't know. It just seems like maybe not what most people want to have happen. Look, I'm not. You can look at me. I'm not real strong. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm just trying to figure this out. If you would be so kind to release me, these bindings are hurting me pretty bad. They're biting into my wrists, and it's uncomfortable.
Where would you go?
I'm not trying to run. I'm just trying to.
No, like if we released you, where would you go? Like say,
I would probably try to finish investigating here what I came here for.
Okay.
See if I can find what I was told to look for.
And then if you found it, where would you go?
In, probably. I think at this point, here's the thing. If I go back to my family, I think I'm just roping them into this whole thing. I feel like at this point, murdering a few more people is probably the best path out of here. Maybe a little bit of thieving, maybe a little bit of killing, day in the life of a crime family. Probably the best way.
What are you? You are hunting something. You have been sent here to find something. What are you trying to find? I know you said it had to do
Yeah,
with
okay.
hand. You're trying to figure out what it is, but like, is it an object? Is it a scroll? Is it intel? Like, what is it that you are looking for?
I don't fully know. Look, whatever. You know, we're in this together now, right? I've been trying to figure out what the hands have been up to for a while, right? We don't trust them. They've been getting too extreme, and I finally was able to get one of the other kids, one of the other younger folks who's part of the hands, who is they were getting a little uncomfortable with it as well, and they told me that they couldn't reveal too much, but that I should go and investigate the old caravan, and that if I looked around in the big tent, I would find what I'm looking for. I would find answers. So I showed up here. That was obviously already getting too close for them, but I don't know what I'm looking for. It might be I don't know, an old scrap of paper. It might be some kind of I'm hoping maybe some kind of like a door or a secret hatch or something, or maybe there's someone else here that has answers. I don't know. Maybe you guys could help me look around and we could try to figure this out together now that we're all kind of stuck in this mess.
As we'll look over at Doc.
Doc pulls out a knife and he cuts her bindings.
She kind of looks
All right.
gratefully, kind of rubs her wrists, and looks up, and pretty deftly and with agility, jumps
I could word.
straight up into the air and grabs they have like those acrobatic swings. He grabs one of those acrobatic swings and just kind of flips upside down and like hangs from it with her legs and just starts kind of swinging back and forth above you guys. Like, oh man, it feels so good to be able to stretch my legs. All right. Where should we start investigating? What do you guys think?
Can you give us a layout of where we're at? Do we have like a is there a map by any chance?
Yeah, let me
Oh,
pull up a
sweet.
map. You want to flip over? Let's see.
Oh.
Well, we didn't end up going into combat, so let's get rid of all these guys that you didn't end up fighting.
Oh man, thanks.
Yes.
Ez.
So yeah, basically you're just in what looks, picture your typical big circus. You got bleachers kind of all around the edges. You guys can start looking around if you want, if there's anything specific you want to look for or areas you want to try and investigate. And she'll start looking around too. She says, look, all I was told, he said to just kind of look around in the big tent, and he suggested that, it was going to be something like on the ground somewhere that I should be able to find if I just kind of, I don't know, start picking stuff up and looking under things, I guess.
But you don't know what it looks like.
I don't know. He just said I'd find the answers I'm looking for.
Huh.
Well, are there any old like crates or barrels or anything like that we could start like looking under?
Yeah, I guess if you guys all want to start kind of looking around, you can roll for investigation and see what you find.
Ghana has an idea.
Sure.
Ghana is going to ask everyone to leave him alone for 10 minutes while he ritually casts a spell.
Okay.
He is going to ritually cast Speak with Animals.
Oh, okay.
And then when it is done, he is going to just yell out into this open tent.
To see if there's any, critters
To
around.
see if there's any, like, small animals, like rats, mice, like, squirrels. Like, because if this is, like, an abandoned tent, then there's gotta be small creatures in the area that kind of, like, hunker down or, like, hide in here with all the bleachers and stuff.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, while he's doing that, Doc and Ez are, now that Luna's been untied, seems a little more forthcoming, a little more willing to kind of just share whatever. So you can ask her for a little more background, or you guys can start kind of searching around if you want. It's up to you guys.
So were you born into this family, Luna?
Or, yeah, well, you know, look, you mentioned you're not from around here. I'll explain.
We're from Crestpont.
Oh, Crestpont. I've heard of it. Never been. Never been.
Yeah,
I've heard it's great.
We've never been here.
What's the
not
crime
from
like over there?
Crestpont.
You guys do some good, some good thieving, some good murdering.
We're not really into murder.
Oh,
But there are some interesting people where I'm
What?
from.
on like a typical Thursday afternoon, what are you doing then? Like, what do you?
Well, I like to serve drinks and hot food.
Yeah, I don't do the murdering.
Oh,
Garad does
food?
the killing, not me.
Well, that just seemed absurd to me. I don't look. I'll explain. As the story goes, my parents, when they were young, they remember and they've told me about how the Bodhi caravan was once a beloved kind of sideshow. We'd travel around in our with our tents, and we'd set up shop in different places, and we'd put on these wonderful shows. We trained exotic animals and do all kinds of wonderful acrobatics and fire blowing and all kinds of cool things, right? And we did that for a long time until eventually people just kind of started to lose interest. People got more pragmatic. They didn't have the money. Things got hard. And the family didn't have enough money. And we always kind of operated in this format of we had the hands, the feet, the head, the body, and that meant, that was what we used to describe whether you're an acrobat or whatever. And it was a beautiful thing for a long time. When things started to get really hard, people, we were running out of food. We all thought we might be on the brink of having to just completely disperse and all go our own way. And it would have been horrible. We would have lost all of our culture and all of our history. That's when Velrath the First, great leader of the Bodhi family, in a moment of desperation, he was searching through a cave, as they say, and whether it was divine inspiration or who knows, he found the great isopod. That's just what we call it. I don't know what it really is. I've never seen it, but it secretes this fluid, and basically they realized it allows people to forget temporarily for a little while their most painful memories. And we've always been in the business of helping people forget. That's what a good show does, is it helps you leave all your worries aside for a little bit and just immerse yourself in the moment. And so we started bottling this stuff, and we would sell it as along with the peanuts at the shows. And people took a real liking to it. They came to our shows to forget for a few minutes, and they found that this potion, this secretion from the isopod, let them forget for a little longer. But it's temporary. And we saw that people come back and want more and want more. And pretty quickly we found that we were making quite a bit more money on the potion than the shows. And people weren't even coming for the shows. They would just come and buy the potion and leave. So it wasn't too long before we just kind of stopped doing the shows and just started selling these potions. And, it wasn't technically legal. And so we kind of had to do it through black market channels and underground tunnel systems. And so once we're acrobats, became smugglers, and the animal trainers became guards. And, a few centuries later, I'm born into what is only ever been known to me as the Bodhi crime family. And we mostly just do, murdering when we need to and stealing when we have to and selling people these potions. And, for a long time, that was fine. We still felt like we were helping people, helping them forget painful things. But when Velrath II came into power, he was manic and crazy, and he was just, he was always scared and looking around as paranoid, and just drove us into this more extreme state of killing anyone who would ever question him. And then when he left, that's where we are today. We have the hands who wanted to take things even more extreme, and the rest of us who wanted to just go back to being a caravan. We've got all the money we could ever need. We don't need to keep selling this stuff. We can just, just put on good shows again. But the hands aren't content with that.
I'm a little bit of a
By the way,
magical
makes it confusing that
individual.
you guys are from Velrath because he, kind of has mixed feelings about us now. Kind of sees us as a weird threat, a loose end sometimes, and we're always worried he's going to try and come and wash us. So, we'll see if that confuses people. Anyway.
As we need to work on when to say nothing and when to tell the truth.
What did you say, S?
I'm just, hey, if I didn't say what I said, we might have had to kill them. I know you guys aren't for killing, so I figured I would make Ghana happy. I'm
What did you
trying
say?
not
Oh,
to
you
do
are
things.
correct.
Either way,
You're correct. You're correct.
I'm a little bit of a
So-
magically inclined individual. So, do you happen to have one of these potions on you?
You see her kind of look at her like, well, let's see. I don't, and she kind of flips off the swing and lands right next to where the thugs were, and she kind of looks around. Look at this. And she picks one up from kind of the dust. She looks like they, when they scattered, they must have dropped one of theirs. It's just like this little kind of crystalline vial. She's like,
Will hold out his hand.
I've never really trusted this stuff myself. Plus, my life's been pretty good. Who can complain about getting to grow up in a crime family? We're close. We get to do all kind of fun adventures. It's all yours. And she kind of, flicks it across the room like a coin and lands in your hand. And she hops back up and kind of starts swinging back around.
I was just kind of looking intently at it, just kind of analyzing it best he can, and then puts it in his pack.
They say it brings a pretty nice, it's a relief, if you have any painful memories, it's, lets you get rid of those for a little while. Lots of people really like it, and then it doesn't work anymore, and you need to come back, and they, keeps the clients coming back, keeps us busy, that's for sure. Anyway,
I'm more curious as to what it is than using it myself, but I appreciate the warning.
Oh, certainly. I would, of course. Yeah, I wouldn't presume. Yeah, I don't know. They say it comes secreted from the big old isopod. If that's even a real thing, I don't know. I've never seen it myself. I'll say it's been about 10 minutes, by the way. So, Doc, you can say whatever, and then we'll let you Ghana do your speak with animals.
So, do you all just recreate this potion or whatever this liquid is? Or does each bit of it come from this quote-unquote isopod?
Yeah. Well, I've never seen where they produce it all. What they tell me is it secretes it, they bottle it, and they ship it out. And people like me and my family, my parents, they used to be acrobats. They taught me how to do all these fun tricks and raise all the fun animals. But they've been forced to mostly just do this kind of stuff where we deliver, we go to some of the wealthiest nobles around Velcora who, have things they'd rather not remember. And we bring, crates of these potions to them in exchange for pretty hefty sums of money. And if anyone tries to stop us or steal from us, we, kill them, cut their arms off, whatever we have to do. And it's a lot of fun.
I don't know if this would be a sort of role, but have we ran into this yet?
No.
Trying to think back. Okay, all right. We have not run into this drug.
You may, if you wanted to roll for, I guess, history, you would have maybe seen. You could try to recall if you saw any of this potion while you were at Giovani's party.
Doc can't recall anything. That fall really took it out of him. Yeah, Ghana.
So Ghana, after getting done casting Speak with Animals, is going to kind of just yell out to every creature in here, because it just allows him to speak with animals in general. So just what he says, animals will understand, regardless of what animal it is.
Okay.
So he's just going to call out to, is there any small creatures in here that are hungry?
You hear a handful of mice and, little chipmunks come kind of skittering from the edges and under some tarps, and they kind of hide in the shadows underneath the perimeter, like the front of the bleachers, like right under the front, like the front seats. You can just kind of see their eyes peeking out, and you hear them respond, and they say, yeah, food wouldn't hurt. What, you got some bugs over there? Or like,
He's gonna pull out one of his rations that has like a bunch of dried nuts and fruits and stuff, and he's just gonna place it on the ground, open it up. He goes, any creature that is hungry is more than willing to indulge.
you see,
And to see how many are actually brave enough to come out.
yeah, you see a couple of them start to kind of poke their heads out, and one little mouse in particular starts to scurry over. As it does, you see Luna lands on the ground in front of you and just takes like a big handful of it and just smashes it in her mouth. Like, oh, thank goodness, I'm starving. Oh man, that's so kind of you. And the mouse just kind of runs up and grabs like one little nut and starts to chew on it and looks at her.
I have to remember Gana's a pacifist.
Oh yeah.
She just kind of looks at you. If you're looking at her kind of annoyed, she kind of looks at you and she's like, you said any creature, right? She keeps eating, kind of like, what's your deal?
Do your best to describe exactly what it is you were sent here to find.
So then, to Luna, she's like, they just said I would find what I'm looking for. So I suppose, I don't know if there's anything out of place here, if there's anything different, if anything's been touched in the past several decades since we abandoned it. I don't know if these critters have seen anyone coming or going, maybe they'd be able to point us in the right direction to what we should look for.
So he's going to ask the mouse, how long have you been here?
Mouse looks at him and says, I don't really have a way to track time, but my whole life I was born right over there behind the stables, and my family and I, all 468 of us, we live over there under the hay bales, and we've lived here. My
That is
family
good.
and I, we've lived here
very
for
good.
we've lived here for many, many years.
Tell me,
old
prior
Father
to
Mouse.
today,
Oh yeah, okay, no, go ahead. Yeah, I thought you wanted my whole backstory.
I mean, I kinda do.
So good. The one time a player doesn't go into just the backstory of a random thing that has none.
Speak with animals. We talk to every animal.
prior to today, has there been any other people that have come here? And if they do, where do they go and what do they interact with?
Yeah. Oh, the people that go over there, and then they disappear, then they come back a little while later. Those people?
Over where?
Yeah, right over there. Yeah. Mr. Mouse, my dad, Mr. Mouse the First. Well, I guess technically, well, whatever. Anyway, he always says you never need to poke your nose in someone else's business. That's how, if you look at someone else's business, that you're gonna get your hand trapped in the cheese. Is what he always says. You don't want to get your hand trapped in the cheese. I just watch from a distance, but that's what old Mr. Mouse would always say. He's dead now, of course. Mouses don't live that long. But, and then his dad would always say, the best kind of cheese is cheese that you just find, that you don't have to take from someone. So, we don't, but you could go look, it's right over there. It's just, and he kind of points, and it's just on the other side of the tent. And he's kind of pointing to an area behind the kind of the northwestern, if you guys had a compass, behind the northwestern bleachers, there's just kind of this dark area where you could kind of duck behind the bleachers. And he's like, they always go back there. You say, never look gift cheese in the mouth, and we don't. They leave some food as they walk in, and we eat it, and we walk away. So, far be it from us.
He's just gonna look at the Genasi. Have you checked there yet?
Luna's like, look, I walked in and I got captured immediately, and I'm about to get my head cut off. I haven't looked anywhere.
Well, then let's look over there.
We should look over there.
Ghana's going to summon Sweet Pea.
Okay. So your little unicorn bunny pops up.
I was gonna run up and just like pat it on the head and just like pick it up and look at it and then put it on the ground.
Luna also is just completely, and she's like, oh my goodness, this is so cute. And she also reaches out. She's like, what is this name? Tell me all about it.
His name is Sweet Pea, and he is an Almirage.
Is he
By the way, Almirages
play?
are not tiny.
How big are
they? Almirages are like
As a
3
dog?
feet tall.
Oh, like the size of a dog.
Yeah, I'd say probably the size of like a
large dog.
not like a large dog, maybe like a like a full-size terrier.
Okay.
Not like a huge dog, but just a medium-sized dog, really.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing that everyone who doesn't really know dogs that well would do. Like, she leans down, she puts her hand out. Like, is it friendly? Can I play with it?
He does whatever I wish him to do.
She picks up a stick and throws it across the room. Why isn't it?
He has a job to do.
No. All right.
And he is going to tell Sweet Pea to go back into the dark corner, and then he's going to close his eyes and look through Sweet Pea's eyes.
Okay. So you see Sweet Pea go back there, and back there it's pretty dark, but using the best of his vision, you can look
vision.
around. Yeah, so you look around, and there's some crates, some old boxes and things, some tarps, really dusty old tarps all over the ground. And if you want, you can roll for investigation if you want to kind of start pushing things aside and nudging things and see what you can find.
Okay. I have to pull up Sweet Pea's stat block. He actually has decent... Oh, he has good stealth and perception, not investigation.
Oop.
The flat D20. Yeah, that's going to be a 12 minus 4.
Oh. So you get you get enough insight to tell that there's not anyone back here, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of anything. All you notice is that there is one rug. One of the rugs is just kind of on the floor. Looks like most of them are just kind of laying flat and dusty, and there's one that looks a lot less dusty than the rest, and like the corners of it are all kind of like tucked up and like scrunched up kind of.
Is there anything on the carpet, like weighing it down, or could Sweet Pea just grab it with its mouth and pull it?
There's nothing on it. No. So do you want to have Sweet Pea pull it?
Yeah, if he could.
Yeah, so Sweet Pea grabs it with his little mouth and kind of pulls it back. And you see that there's just a really kind of rudimentary wooden hatch on the ground beneath it.
Ghana would snap back to like his normal senses and recall Sweet Pea. Are we standing on dirt or like wood? Or stone?
It's all where you guys are standing. It's just a big dirt area. Yeah.
There's an underground area.
Mm.
We should go.
Let's do it.
As we'll start walking over.
As you guys walk over, you find what you described. You see, kind of in the dark, musty corners, and you see that Luna, who overall seems pretty chipper, pretty happy-go-lucky, you could tell she's a little bit shaken from this whole thing, and she's a little bit wary. So she's kind of following behind you guys, trying to keep a sense of chipperness around her, but definitely a little wary. You guys approach this hatch, and as you slowly, quietly open it, you look in, and you notice that there's just some gentle torchlight. And as you just kind of look without going down there, you can see it just kind of looks like a root cellar. There's some old shelves that have, this is probably where they would have stored the food for the circus. The supplies, the snacks and things that they sold would have all been kept down here. And it's just kind of dug down into the dirt. And so there's a ladder that goes down there, and you can just kind of see some of the shelves. And you hear a couple of voices. And so if you listen closely, you notice, you notice that there's a couple of voices coming out of it. And you hear one voice that's kind of a little bit of a sharper, kind of nasally voice. He says, No, see, that's where you messed up. You're not supposed to move the checker here. You're supposed to move it over here. You don't put the checkers in your nose. That's not how we've been over this. And you hear another voice that's much slower and kind of deeper. And it says, I thought that was just a special move. And you kind of hear them continuing to talk. And you guys are kind of peering over this hole as you hear these voices kind of in the distance down in the cellar talking. And as you guys get ready to either go down there or not, we have coming up in April 14th through 16th is the Nerd Culture Ministry Summit. I'm part of the planning team, and everyone here right now, I believe, is going to be in attendance. Annika is not here right now, and for a variety of reasons, part of why she's not here today, she won't be able to make it to NCMS, unfortunately. But we'll have a whole contingent of the Dungeons and Campfires and Dragons crew there at NCMS, and we're actually planning on hosting a room for D&D. We may even have people helping host a variety of things, but we'll have one-shots going on, so people that come and attend can join us, and we'll be DMing tables and running one-shots. We'll have different options for pre-made characters, make it really easy and accessible. But if you are able and interested in that kind of thing, definitely recommend coming. Basically, at the summit, it's at Glen Erie Castle in Colorado Springs. So it's a real castle, and everyone stays on the castle grounds. And it's essentially 2.5 days long. There's keynotes and workshops every day just to help people who are interested in exploring how they can use nerdy stuff for ministry. So whether that's wanting to use tabletop games and D&D, or streaming on Twitch or YouTube, or whatever that is, there's so many different ways that you can use your nerdy passions and interests to share more about the gospel and bring hope to people who need it. So certainly recommend coming and checking that out. And we'll be there, and we would love to play some D&D with you guys. And actually a bunch of merch from our friends at Emberglow will probably be there too. So if you want to pick up some new dice, that's always when I try to do it.